Hey everybody, welcome to the Creativity Cave. I'm Dina Rico. I'm so excited to stamp with you today because I have a really cool project to share with you and I think you're going to like it. And while it's totally geared towards a masculine card, obviously you could totally change it up and make it a feminine card or a card for just about any occasion. Plus, I have a cute little treat as well because who does not like chocolate? And a gift card. So let me show you what I have going on here. So first of all, I'm using Stampin' Up's new Wood Textures printed paper, and I have gone ahead and die cut myself some letters using the Large Letters Framelits, which I've kind of been on a roll with lately. I've actually done several blog posts quick in the last couple weeks using these framelits, and they are so much fun, and obviously you can do just about anything with them. And so what I did actually is die cut the word dad, and I also die cut the word dad on some black fun foam. This is just the regular fun foam you get at a craft store. I'm also going to use my silicone mat with a little sponge. It looks kind of gross because it's full of paper fibers, but when you take this, you can sponge glue onto it, and then you can adhere it to your letters. Now we also have some new multi-purpose craft sheets that you could use this for, but I actually kind of find this technique to be super quick and easy, and it's almost a little better than those craft sheets. The craft sheets are really good, but I do like this technique. And the problem I find is that I'm kind of used to die cutting things, so I forget to die cut them with the craft sheets at the beginning. And so that just kind of messes me up. Now that is my own personal problem. You guys might not have the same issues I have. Okay, so I added a little bit more glue so I could get my word or my letter down. It really helps if you keep your letter from moving around on that silicone mat, because otherwise you'll get some glue on the front side. Now, if you do, just let it dry and then it kind of rubs right off. So that's no big deal. Okay, so I've got all my letters adhered, and I think this just kind of pops everything up and gives it that really cool dimensional look. Now I'm also going to use the glue to adhere these to my cardstock, and I've just trimmed out a piece of cardstock. I just kind of laid them on here and then made my cardstock a little bit bigger so that my letters would fit nicely on the cardstock. I know you can't see that super well because it's so dark, but again, I just think this is such a handy way to adhere these letters. And the reason I'm using the silicone mat is because this will actually, when the glue dries, this will actually just rub right off of the mat, and then you can start over, which is awesome. It doesn't get sticky and icky. Okay, so there is Dad on my DSP, and then I just cut a little layer that was just a little bigger to mount it onto, and I can use my glue or I can use Fast Fuse to adhere that. You can see I'm just using a skinny little bit of glue. You don't need much. It is really sticky stuff, but the nice thing is you can kind of move things around a little bit before you're fully committed, so you can get it all on there nicely. All right, so there's my dad. Now, what I wanted to do, though, is make this kind of the surprise on the inside of my card, which I love. So, oh, but can I just show you this for a second? When you were a kid, did you put glue on the palm of your hand and then, like, peel it off? Like, the big challenge was if you could get it all off in one sheet. Well, you kind of can do that here. Look, this is dry glue that has dried, and I can just roll it right off my sheet, and my sheet is clean and ready to use again, which I love. Plus, you just take that little adhesive booger and throw it away. Okay, now, TMI, anyone? All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use Early Espresso card base, and that's a really dark color. Excuse me. So I'm going to have an insert for it that is very vanilla. Now, what I did with my very vanilla is I folded it in half, well, I folded it in half regular, and then I just cut in about 1 inch. And then I did that about 1.25 inches from each side. And this is all totally random. All the number or the amounts you're doing this doesn't really matter. It's, you just want it to cover whatever piece you're putting on top. Okay. And this will all make sense in a second in case you're like, what? Okay. So then I'm going to pop this center part in like that. Okay, this will be adhered inside my card, and then I'm creating a pop-up so I can adhere my dad right to the inside, and then it's a pop-up card, okay? And I think pop-up cards are always really fun. So what I'm going to do is just put some adhesive at the end. Okay, I'm going to fold my card. I'm going to center it inside. And then I'm going to press on this side, open it up, and then I'll close this and do the same thing over here. That way I've got it in there nicely, and I know it will open correctly. Okay, now I want to put the adhesive right here so that my dad will pop in perfectly. So I'm just going to close that and then just put the adhesive where I want it. Okay, I'm being a little bit more generous because I want to make sure it sticks on there nicely. I'll center this up and then close. Now, one of the things when I'm making my pop-up is I want to make sure that it's not going to stick out of my card. So I tested this beforehand to make sure that whatever I did when I closed it, it would not stick out. And you can see it's close, but not quite. Okay, actually, to be honest, the piece I had before this was a little bigger, so it did stick out. So I trimmed it down a little bit. So there's my dad. Now, I thought I would jazz this up a little bit on the inside. And what was I going to write? Oh, no, never mind. That was it. Dad on the inside, and then you can write whatever you want, your message. Okay, but on the outside, that's where I was going to jazz things up. So I have a little bit more of that printed paper from the wood textures. This is the background piece that I have on here. And I thought I would add this to the outside of my card. And actually, as I'm looking at it, I think it needs just a little something else. Hold on. So what if, I just have a scrap here, what if I put another layer on here and then put it on top? I know it's the same color, but I think it looks nice. So hold on 1 second as I trim this out quick on my paper cutter. Okay. Now, all of the measurements and supplies and everything will be on my blog, so make sure and check that out. The link will be in the description of this video. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. You can see there's a little subscribe button right here. So just click on that and you can subscribe to my channel so you don't ever miss any of my awesomeness, because I do like to make awesome videos just for you guys. Okay, so now I have my little front layer, and I thought what I would do here is stamp Celebrate, and I'm going to use the stamp set Happy Celebrations. This was in the Occasions catalog, and it was carried over to the big catalog, which made me really happy because I didn't actually get to play with it a whole lot. I love the set, but I just never got a chance to kind of get going with it. So I'm going to stamp Celebrate on here with Early Espresso ink right on top of that printed paper, and it looks awesome. And then what I'm going to do is Celebrate Your Day. Well, sounds great. So I have a little scrap left over from cutting, and I'm going to take kind of a lighter little chunk of that. And I'm going to say, I know I have Your Day somewhere. I'll stamp this with my Early Espresso ink, and then I'm just going to trim this out quick as soon as I find my scissors. I have to tell you, I'm laughing at myself a little because I told my husband I was coming down here to shoot my video, and I was really warm earlier today, and then I got a little chilly because our air conditioning is on and my office is in the basement, so I put on a sweatshirt. And my sweatshirt has kind of a little, this is a palm frond or something on it. I bought it when I was in California a couple years ago. Anyway, and then I have my jammy pants on, which here, I'll show you because you guys will just think this is funny because this is so Dina. So let me see if I can get my knee up here. Oh, so my jammy pants have flowers on them. And then I still have my t-shirt on that I was wearing today, with a cute pair of pink capris, hot pink capris, and my t-shirt here. I'll show you my shirt. I'm pulling this out. It's like ivory and white or black striped, and then there's like lace at the top. I'm totally like pulling my clothes off to show you all this. So I have like the most uncoordinated outfit ever on. And so I think the moral of the story is when shooting a video, you don't have to look amazing. You can look crazy. So our joke is, if you're going to fight, clash. That's a line from Good Morning Vietnam, actually. And that movie, do you remember that movie with Robin Williams, whom I love? He's the best. Anyway, it's just, we always joke about that. And no, that was a completely random story, but I thought you might find it funny. But I'm comfortable, so that's good. All right, so I just am putting Celebrate Your Day right on the front. And I think, you know, for a man card, it doesn't have to be super fancy, but what I think is going to be awesome is when you open this up and see the surprise on the inside, you're going to be excited. Or hopefully whatever man you're giving this to in your life is going to be like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. You have mad stamping skills. You should buy more stamps. I'm sure that is really what the reaction is totally going to be. I should ask my husband, you know, like, man approved testimonial or something. Don't you think that's what your husbands are going to say? Or if you're not married, boyfriends, spouses, significant others, whomever, you should totally buy more stamps. So celebrate your day, Dad. Now, what if you made the same card but with flowery images and different colors, and then put Mom on the inside? You see where I'm going with this? It's a really cool project. Okay, now I like that card. I think it turned out great. The next thing I wanted to show you is I have this chocolate bar, and so of course we need a gift to go along with our fabulous Father's Day card, because Father's Day is coming up. That's where we're all going with this. So I have a little gift card actually, and I'm just going to tuck it in with my chocolate bar. All I did was take one 6x6 piece of paper and wrapped it around this, and then I just adhered it on the back. Okay, and then I cut the word happy out of my DSP. So I am going to adhere those happy, the letters, onto my DSP. But I also want to show you how to make this a treat that will pull out of the container. Okay, so I've got myself some of my burlap ribbon, and I want a length that is big enough to go around my chocolate bar and maybe stick out an inch or two on either end. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can see I don't like making measurements, because if you're using a different type of chocolate bar or something else, some other kind of candy, for instance, my husband is a huge fan of Reese's peanut butter cups, so that would work really well for this as well. You know, whatever you want to use, but as long as you have a loop around, then you can pull this out. Okay, so let me finish up what I'm doing so you can see how it all kind of comes together. First of all, if you want to take and adhere a gift card to your chocolate bar, just tack it down with a couple of glue dots. That'll hold it in place, but it'll also make it easy enough for the recipient to pull it off without having to like pry it apart. I think that's important. And then I'm going to take my burlap ribbon, and I want to adhere it to my card. And bear with me for just a second. I have I just reorganized No, that's not where I thought it was going to be. I just reorganized a bunch of my embellishments. So now I'm looking. I'm looking for more. I think I used up the last of my linen thread. That's what I'm looking for. But I have one more place to check. Yeah, I think I did. I'm going to use this instead because it'll work. I was going to use linen thread because I think that would look good. But I'm literally out right now. Well, I'm not. Well, okay. It doesn't matter. Anyway, what I'm going to do is take... And I'm going to, instead of tying a bow, because, I mean, guys don't like bows, I'm just going to tie a knot, but I'm going to use, this is just the vanilla baker's twine that we have new this year. So all that I'm going to do is tie this off on my ribbon, my burlap ribbon. I'm going to tie it in a really tight knot, because this is, and this might help, by the way, to have somebody with you doing this so you get it nice and tight. I'm trying to hold it together. There we go. Ugh. All right, so I'll just tie this off. Again, in a knot, not in a bow, because boys don't care about bows. But there it is. It just holds everything together so that when you put this inside your little pouch, oops, then you can just pull the whole thing out and it all comes together. Isn't that kind of clever? And you can do, this is not a new concept or anything. It's been around for a while, but I think it's really fun. So anyway, you can check out my blog and I'll have pictures of the final projects for all of this, as well as all the supplies I used and the dimensions and scoring lines and everything for everything that I did today. So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you loved these projects and they inspire you to make some fun cards. And of course, if you need any of these supplies, I would so be grateful if you ordered them through my online store. It helps me bring more awesome videos just like this one to you. And you just never know what's going to happen on one of my videos. So have a great day and happy stamping, guys. Bye!